All right, what is going on, guys? Should be starting up now. Give me 1 second here. Let me tweet out the stream, then we'll jump into it. We did get the news that we're waiting for. We got McGee news. We got Giannis news. We got some of those Miami guys that are questionable. We got confirmation there. So, good. We don't have to wait on anything, which is nice. It's setting up to be a really chalky slate, but I'm okay with it. I think there's some really, really obvious plays. Again, Lakers and Bucks are going to be the chalk. They're going to be very chalky, both teams. Yeah, give me 1 second here, and then we'll jump into it. All right. So let's go over the news so far. Like I said, okay, so we got Crowder's playing, Hero's playing, Olenek's playing. We expected that, right? Those guys are questionable. We expected them to play. McGee will play too. That was more up in the air, but he is in. I think that takes a slight hit to guys like Kuzma, a guy like Markieff Morris. Giannis ruled out. That was the big news we're waiting for. So, like I said, it's setting up to be a very, very popular or very, very chalky slate. DK, let's get it. What's up, Cam? Hope you're doing good, man. All right, so let's go over these. I should probably have NBA up here. Let's go take a look at the Vegas odds really quick for both these games. If it will go to game lines, and it's not doing it. I thought it was doing this last time for me. Hold on. Why does it... why is that doing that? Okay, so we have Bucks Heat. It's a 220 over under. The Heat are now 5.5 point favorites. Lakers Rockets is a 222 over under. Lakers are 4.5 point favorites. I guess before I get into recap of last night went terribly. Not the Rockets. The Raptors got absolutely destroyed, so that sucked. I know still a couple of you guys had good nights, but not me. It was a really forgetful night, but that's a good thing about DFS. There's always another day, and this slate looks a lot better. It just does. So let's talk about the teams here. Start with Miami. Miami as a team is going to go low on this slate for the reason of you're going to have a lot of guys in Milwaukee chalky, and you're going to have a lot of guys in the Lakers chalky. So Miami, by default, a lot of these guys will be low owned. We saw like 15% ownership on Bam and Jimmy last time. I think like 14 on Dragic. Like no one's going to be high owned for Miami. So this is an interesting scenario because so much of that ownership is going to go to the Milwaukee and the Lakers guys that these guys are going to fly under the radar. And I agree. Like I don't think the Miami guys really make the optimal lineup. But that doesn't mean they're out of play. We're going to get these guys at super, super low ownership. Now, the tricky part is they're a bit more balanced. And the price tags are slowly coming up on Jimmy, slowly coming up on Bam. We're not getting a big discount like we did on Dragic like a month ago. So with all three of these guys, I don't really have a strong take. Like I think I slightly prefer Bam to Jimmy for, $200 more. I think I like Bam's upside a little bit more than Jimmy, but they're almost identical plays. Both will be low owned on the slate. Dragic, kind of the same thing. I've played him almost every single slate for the last 10 slates, it feels like. This is the slate I'm not getting to him for the reason of, in my opinion, there's better plays on the Milwaukee side for similar prices. And then you have LeBron, you have AD, you have Rondo, you have decent value for the Lakers too. So it's really setting up for kind of that stars and scrubs build with probably at least one of those main Lakers guys with probably Bledsoe and Middleton, right? Or, Bledsoe and Lopez, and then both LeBron and AD, right? It's setting up for that build. So these Miami guys are just going to fly under the radar. And there's a chance, not a big chance, but there's a small chance the Lakers could run Houston off the floor. You never know, right? Westbrook's really been playing terribly. Harden hasn't been playing amazing too. So, you could technically go with a game stack. I'm not doing it, but I mean, I get it if you're making multiple lineups. Maybe make one lineup with a stack in this game. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on those main guys. Crowder's at 5'8". I don't think I'm going to get to 5'8" Jay Crowder. The price is no longer like mid 4s to low 5K like he was in the beginning of the series. So I'm probably not going to do Jay Crowder. Also, his minutes went down, which is a little bit concerning, losing 4 minutes the last time out. Hero's a guy that, for his price, is probably my favorite play in Miami at 5'3". I played him last couple slates. He's just consistent. Like, the minutes will be there, 28 to 30. He's a guy that has upside. I just think he goes under the radar. So I kind of like Hero. Duncan Robinson also intrigues me. He was playing like 25-ish to 30 minutes, and then came out and played 39 minutes the last game and didn't play in overtime. Like, that wasn't due to overtime. He played 39 minutes in the regular game. So this one confuses me a little bit. I don't know what Duncan Robinson's minutes are going to be. Are they going to be the 25 to 30 like they have been all series, or is he going to play close to 40 again? Obviously, if he plays closer to 40, he looks a lot better. And this is kind of what I said about a lot of players last night, because the rotations are so wacky, right? With Denver and the Clippers, you just never really know what either coach is going to do. I don't have a good feeling on what Duncan Robinson's minutes are going to be. So he's a risky play, but if you get lucky and he gets extended, gets closer to 40 minutes, he could crush his 4-7 salary, right? He's scoring dependent, but it wouldn't matter if he plays almost 40 minutes. So this one's a tricky one, right? Like, Duncan, Hero are the two guys that probably intrigue me the most for their prices. Iguodala, I just think there's better value. There's better value in Milwaukee. Rondo's a better value play. I don't see a reason to get to Iguodala at this price. Olynyk is just a dart throw. Again, you really need Bam foul trouble. That's the only way Kelly O can smash. Like, he's a really good fantasy point per minute guy, but you just need something to happen to Bam. You need the foul trouble. Other than that, he's going to play 10-ish minutes. So, not going to get to him unless you're making a lot of lineups. Don't play Kendrick Nunn, and that's really it for Miami. So, Miami, I think, will be the lowest owned team of the slate, because I think Westbrook will garner some ownership. I think maybe a guy like Eric Gordon will get a little bit of ownership on Houston. I already mentioned that Lakers and Milwaukee are going to be chalk. Miami is going to go super, super low owned, but there are a couple interesting plays. Again, the main three guys at the top I have interest in, but I don't think they fit the optimal build. And then guys like Hero, guys like Duncan Robinson intrigue me for their price. Talk about Milwaukee. So this is the chalkiest team by far with no Giannis. Middleton, Bledsoe, Lopez, George Hill, Dante DiVincenzo. All five look really good. We're not really getting a discount on Middleton, 8.6, but he just looks, he's going to be their main guy. And Milwaukee has, if they want any chance of winning, it has to be a big game for Middleton. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. So really like Middleton, really like Bledsoe. Do you have to play both? I would say the answer is no, you don't have to. They're both going to be super popular. Like, I think the optimal build is probably this way, right? You get a lot of Milwaukee exposure. So you either go like Middleton, Bledsoe, and then one of those Lakers stars, or you fade Middleton, you go like Bledsoe, Lopez, and like maybe one other piece from Milwaukee, and then you play both the Lakers stars. I think that is probably the optimal build, one of those directions. So really like both those guys. The ownership's going to be high, but their offense is going to run through Middleton and Bledsoe. Bledsoe, like, I would play Bledsoe over Middleton. If you made me pick, I would for sure play Bledsoe over Middleton just for the price, right? He's 6'2", compared to Middleton at 8'6". Yeah, Bledsoe, if you made me pick one, it's going to be Bledsoe. And he is just a completely different player when Giannis is off the court. He is super, super aggressive. He went for 14, 10, and 6 last game in 40 minutes. I know, sure, the overtime, but still. Like, Middleton, Bledsoe look great. I prefer Bledsoe for his price. Brook Lopez, he's also going to be really popular at 6K. This one's a tricky one, right? Because he's scoring dependent. He if you played him last slate, you were super, super worried. Because he had 8 fantasy points going into the fourth quarter. The floor is low on him. So just be warned if you play him, but he's going to have to do more without Giannis. So this is a tricky one, right? I definitely prefer Bledsoe and Middleton, but I think you can play Brook Lopez too, which is the floor is lower on him compared to the other guys. I like George Hill too. I think we get 30-ish minutes from him. Not a guy that has enormous upside, but I think he's perfectly fine value play. Definitely one of the better value plays in my opinion. And then DiVincenzo, I think is also going to be super, super popular. My slight concern is Mike Budenholzer is his coach, and there's really no guarantee, right? They have Pat Connaughton they can use. Matthews will play minutes. I'm not interested in him. They have Marvin Williams, so there's no real guarantee. But if we get like 20 to 25 minutes of DiVincenzo, I think he makes for a pretty good value play. So those are the 5 guys that I like the most. Marvin Williams is playable too at 3.6, but the minutes went down on him, even with Giannis only playing 11 minutes last game, which is a little bit worrisome, right? I think like their top lineup or their closing lineup will probably be Bledsoe, George Hill, Middleton, DiVincenzo, and Brook Lopez. So I don't know if I'm going to get to Marvin. I think he is playable for sure, but I think I slightly prefer DiVincenzo at a similar price. I'm not going to play Wes Matthews. Pat Connaughton, if you want to get super, super contrarian, I think there's an outside chance that he could get close to 20 minutes, but he would obviously be a super, super risky play. And that's it. Like, I don't think like Ersan gets in the rotation. Again, I mentioned that maybe possibly he could start, but I don't think he's going to be in the rotation. And that's really it for Milwaukee. So, how many Bucks is too many Bucks? That's a good question, right? I think you can get up to 5 if you really wanted to. I think probably 3 or 4 is optimal Bucks, but you can probably push it to 5 if you really wanted to. Let's talk about the Lakers. So again, mentioned LeBron, AD. I think getting one or even both of them in your lineup is probably the optimal way to go, whether or not you play Middleton, right? I think it's Middleton, Bledsoe, and one of the Lakers guys, one of the Lakers stars, or both Lakers stars with Bledsoe and then value. So yeah, really like both these guys. They're going to play 40 minutes. I mean, LeBron, AD, they look good. I slightly prefer AD for his price. You're going to make me pick one. But both of them have absolutely nothing bad to say. I like them both a lot. They're the 2 top spend-ups on the slate for sure. Kuzma with McGee playing, it's just the minutes. He played well offensively that last game, but only played 21 minutes. I think it was partly due to Markieff Morris shooting lights out, but for him playing 28 the first game, then down to 21 after playing well, it worries me a little bit. So I think he's playable, but definitely more of a contrarian play right now. Danny Green, KCP, I always say this, but you know what you're getting into when you play these guys. 25 to 30 minutes. They don't do a whole lot besides shoot threes. So they have to hit their threes. If not, the floor is pretty low. So that's just my breakdown of them. Rondo is one of your top value plays. I'm playing him. My worry was with that last slate was he played 25 minutes and it was coach talk, right? He said they played him too much. They wanted to play Caruso more. And then they came out and played him 30 minutes. So if the plan is to get Rondo close to 30 minutes, he is way, way too cheap at 3.9. So yeah, I'm playing him and moving on. I know we're not going to get 5 steals again, but he's your chalk value along with some of those Milwaukee guys. I'll be playing Rondo. Caruso's is the contrarian option, right? Because Rondo's going to get so much ownership. My worry was he played a lot of the off ball, right? When they were both out there together, Rondo had the ball in his hands. So like the value with Caruso is when he was playing point and getting those assist numbers. If he's going to play the off guard, he's not a great shooter. If he plays the off guard with Rondo running the point, I don't have interest in Caruso, right? So he's just a super contrarian play. Don't play Dwight. He hasn't played at all this series. KCP's at 3.6. Again, 25 to 30 minutes. You know what you're getting into out of him. Markieff Morris at 3.5. He shot lights out. This is a tricky one, but I'm probably not going to do it. I think I like the value a little bit better elsewhere. I prefer Rondo. I think I prefer DiVincenzo, George Hill. So Morris is playable, but a riskier option. I don't think he plays 23 minutes again, too. I think those minutes go down. McGee, another guy that you know what you're getting into. He's going to get 13 minutes. That's it. But he's a pretty solid point per minute guy. He can go for 20 plus. So yeah, that's really what you get with McGee, and that's it for the Lakers. So let's finish up with Houston. Houston's another team that's going to be low owned. They are. I think Miami will probably be the lowest owned team, but Houston's not far behind them. Harden at 11K is just a contrarian play. I don't think I can prioritize him right now going up against the Lakers when you have LeBron and AD on the other side, who in my opinion are just a lot safer. Oh, sure, if Harden gets it going and really steps it up offensively, he probably has a higher ceiling than LeBron and AD. Like, he can go for 70 plus, but we're just not seeing it right now from Harden. He only shot about 12 times. He shot about 12 times last game. That is crazy. So he's just a contrarian option to suspend up. I prefer both Lakers stars. Westbrook, he was high owned last time. He busted. I don't mind him here for it. He played terribly. Shot about 4 of 15, no doubt about it. Like, he looked terrible, 7 turnovers. I think he bounces back here. And the price point is definitely doable. I don't think he's going to get too much ownership for the reason of LeBron and AD, Bledsoe, Middleton. Those are the spend-ups that are going to get all the ownership. Well, Bledsoe's not really spend-up, but you know what I'm saying. So Westbrook will go a little bit lower owned. If you're going to make me pick between Westbrook and Harden, it's going to be Westbrook for me. I know he's been bad, but it's just the price point, right? 8-4. You're going to have to pay $11K for Harden, so I would just prefer Westbrook over Harden. Roko's at 6'5". One of those guys that, if he's the last piece in your lineup, that's fine. He'll play close to 40 minutes. He's a guy that can go for 40 plus, but he needs a couple blocks, a couple steals. He's a guy that's been shooting decently well, so I think he's a fine option. Probably not going to go out of my way to play him, but again, if he's the last piece in your lineup, that's fine. Eric Gordon is a slightly riskier option because he's a little bit more scoring dependent, but he's been solid, playing about 35 minutes a game. Again, we have not seen the floor game yet from him. It's there. He has a floor probably 15. I always bring that up. We haven't seen it yet because he has hit his threes. He has hit his shots. So he's in play too, but a little bit of a riskier option. Tucker's a 4.9. Yeah, you went for 40. The ownership's going to jump on him. I'm probably not going to do it, but he's playable. He'll play 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. He got hot behind the three-point line, shot the ball 7 of 10. I don't think we get that again, but sure. If you land on PJ Tucker, if you land on Robert Covington, that's fine. I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to play them, though, in my lineup. House is playable, too. He's like the same type of player of KCP and Danny Green. We'll get 25 to 30 minutes. He has to hit his threes. He had a good game last time out, no doubt about it, but he's like literally like the exact same player. So he's fine. You know what you're getting into with House. Green, I don't think I'm going to do at 4K. I think there's better value, right? I prefer Rondo. I prefer DiVincenzo. I prefer George Hill. So probably not going to go play Jeff Green. And that's it. That is it for the breakdown here. So let's get to some questions, guys. Core. So I mentioned, right? It's going to be the optimal build, in my opinion, is you either go Middleton, Bledsoe, and one of the Lakers stars, or you play both AD, LeBron, and then fade Middleton, and then go Bledsoe, Brolo, and value. So one of those two directions. The way that I'm going, I'm playing Middleton, I'm playing Bledsoe, so we'll throw those two guys in there. Obviously, they're super chalk, but again, you don't have to play Middleton. You can go the other route of playing both LeBron and AD, but the way that I'm going is I'm playing both of them. I'm playing AD, and then for value, there's DiVincenzo, George Hill, Rondo. Those are the top 3 value plays in my opinion. I'm going Rondo at 3.9. If he gets close to 30 minutes, that's just way too cheap. I know he's going to be the ultimate chalk, but I'm fine eating it. And that's it. That's the core. I know it's a super, super chalky core, but you have 5.1K remaining. You can kind of go about how you wish. Again, you don't have to play Middleton. You can definitely do this as well, right? If you don't go Middleton, I would probably go LeBron. Where's LeBron? You can do that, right? And then you have 4.5K remaining. So either way is perfectly fine with me. Either Middleton here or LeBron. You'd have to change up your lineup a little bit. Obviously, with LeBron in there, you have to play a couple more value plays, whereas Middleton, you can get maybe a couple more in the mid-range. So that's really what I think on this slate. Let's get to some questions. Bledsoe for cash, yeah, 100%. Play Bledsoe. He's too cheap. He's your top play on Milwaukee, in my opinion, for his price. Dragic or Bledsoe for cash, yeah, it's Bledsoe. 100% Bledsoe. Tucker or Kuzma. It's got to be Tucker for safety. The minutes are there right now. Kuzma is a riskier play. If he gets closer to 30 minutes, I think he can have upside, but right now it's the safe option is Tucker for sure. I think Bledsoe's more of a play on FanDuel. I'm playing him on DK. I mean, I think he's, for his price, I think he's one of the best plays in Draftkings. I will not be fading Bledsoe. Do you like Dragic today? I do, but he's a contrarian option for the reason of he's not in the optimal lineup, in my opinion. So I'm not getting a Dragic today. DK, I'd love to hear your opinion on Bam and Marvin or Bledsoe and Crowder. It's going to be Bledsoe Crowder for me. Even though I'm not super excited about Crowder, it's just Bledsoe's too cheap with no Giannis. DiVincenzo starting. Okay, I guess I should go over the starting lineups for Milwaukee. I really like DiVincenzo. If he does start, which he is, yeah. He's a really, really good value. Again, the value, in my opinion, is DiVincenzo, it's George Hill, and it's Rondo. Those are the only guys I would consider. Sure, you can play a Danny Green, you can play a KCP, you can play a House, but those guys are just riskier options. I feel better going to Rondo, George Hill, and DiVincenzo. DK thoughts: Bledsoe, Hero, James, Kuzma, Rolo, Rondo, Middleton, Dante, DiVincenzo. I think it looks great. Westbrook, Bam, or Butler. Of those three guys, I'm going to go Westbrook. I know it doesn't feel good after the last game, but I think he's the guy that has the most upside out of those three right now. Dante DiVincenzo and Gordon, or Hill and Duncan. Dante DiVincenzo and Eric Gordon, or Hill and Duncan. I'll go the first option. Crowder or Gordon. Crowder's safer than Gordon for the reason of he does more. Right? He doesn't have to score. Gordon's a little bit riskier, but I think has a little bit more upside than Jay Crowder. So if you're going for the safety, it's probably Crowder. The upside, probably Gordon. Hero, I think Hero's a good play, and everyone in Miami is going to go low-owned. I think Hero, Duncan, Robinson, for their prices, are probably my favorite plays in Miami, but Duncan's minutes, I don't know what he's going to get, right? Thoughts on Marvin Williams? I think he gets a few extra minutes or just starts back at 5 minutes. I think Marvin Williams is certainly playable. I do. I just slightly prefer DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo or Hill? Both. If you're going to make me pick, I guess DiVincenzo for the price, but I like both of them a lot. Do you think Ersan plays? Slim chance, outside chance he plays. I wouldn't even take the risk. Best strategy for center. I think Brook Lopez or Anthony Davis. Dante DiVincenzo and Gordon already answered that. Thoughts? Let's see. Jimmy going to break the slate. He's going to be low owned. Every single player in Miami is going to be low owned. So I don't have an issue if you get to Jimmy or Bam. It's just they're more contrarian options, in my opinion. Miami blows out Bucks. Jimmy shuts down Middleton. Certainly possible, but it's just a more contrarian way to go about it if you go to Jimmy over Middleton, in my opinion. Marvin Williams, Jeff Green, or Markieff Morris for cash. Of those three, it's going to be Marvin Williams. Bledsoe, DiVincenzo, Wes Matthews, Middleton, and Brook Lopez is the lineup for Milwaukee. Yep. Any Ersan Ilyasova? I think there's a slim chance he plays, but I'm not willing to take the risk on the slate. For a single entry guy like myself, I'm not willing to do it. DK, Dragic, Hero, KCP, Crowder, Bam, Rondo, AD, Tucker. Yeah, I mean, it's contrarian for sure. Really, really contrarian. You're fading what, all of Milwaukee? I probably wouldn't do it. Yeah, any Ersan, yeah, I think there's a slim chance he plays, but I'm not willing to take the risk. Anyone playing Jimmy, Bam, Dragic are all going to be, in my opinion, below 15% ownership on this slate. They're going to be low owned. I don't hate getting to one of those guys for the fact that it's going to be low owned. DK, you playing Westbrook. It's hard to find a Bucks that I have a feeling Westbrook bounces back. I'm not, but I do like him for his price. I loaded up in Milwaukee. Not sure if this is answered or not, but Hero Robinson. It's a tricky one because I don't know what Duncan's minutes are going to be in this one. It could be 25-ish. It could be close to 40 like we saw last game. So the safer option might be Hero, but if Robinson gets extended, like obviously if he plays 40 minutes, I love him, but I don't know if that's necessarily guaranteed. So it's a tricky one, right? I'm fading the first game besides Hero and DiVincenzo. Is that bad? No, I mean, what if you're fading the first game, you need the blowout. If the first game stays close, you're going to want a good amount of Milwaukee guys, right? Because I don't see any way, unless it's like a Utah-Denver Game 7 where there's like 70 points scored, you really need the blowout. So I would not fade the first game unless you think it blows out. Westbrook or Bam, it's going to be Westbrook for me. Yeah, I guess it's going to be Westbrook. I don't know. That's a tough one. With like Westbrook, Jimmy, Bam, they're all going to be lower owned, but I guess Westbrook. Rank Russ, Jimmy, Bam. Yeah, so I guess Westbrook, then Bam, then Jimmy. I don't know. I mean, Westbrook is he can be so bad at times, but 8.4 is just like a really appealing price for him. Thoughts on blowout rest for Bucks Heat? Slim chance, right? If you're doing that, like someone mentioned, they had Hero and DiVincenzo, and that's it. You really need the blowout. Westbrook or Bam? I guess Westbrook. I don't really have a strong take there, though, if you want to go Bam over Westbrook. House or Marvin Williams or KCP or Markieff? Of those four guys, probably Danwell House. But, yeah. I've got the whole Bucks starting five except Wesley Matthews. I do as well. I have 5 Milwaukee Bucks players in my lineup. Westbrook or Bam, mentioned that. It's Westbrook, but I don't really have a strong take. Like, it's not like me answering that confidently. Westbrook, Marvin Williams, or Eric Gordon, Bledsoe. Yeah, it's gonna be Eric Gordon and Bledsoe for me there. You playing any Heat? I'm not. Core's there. It's either those four guys or insert LeBron James from Middleton. Right? I think you either play both Lakers stars with Bledsoe, or you play Bledsoe Middleton with one of the Lakers stars. The way I'm going about it, I'm playing Bledsoe Middleton and one of the Lakers stars. Middleton playing the 4 today. Yeah, he'll play a decent amount of the 4. I keep landing on Daniel House in my last spot. I'm fine with House. I am. He has hit his threes. So I know what you're getting into. The 4 is somewhat low, but I'm fine with it. I'm going Bledsoe, Dante DiVincenzo, House, AD, Rondo, Duncan, and Westbrook. Looks fine. DK, Bron or AD, price doesn't matter. It's going to be AD for me, if you made me pick. How does this look? Bledsoe, Hero, Middleton, AD, Brolo, Rondo, Gordon, DiVincenzo. I think it looks good. Eric Gordon or Bledsoe, it's 100% Bledsoe for me. Korver, a good punt since Middleton ran the 4. Nope, wouldn't play Korver. He played, I think, 5 minutes last amount. Marvin Williams or Morris? It's going to be Marvin Williams for me. Not really a strong take, but yeah, I would rather have Marvin Williams than Morris. DK, because Markieff Morris shot 6 of 8. We're not going to get that again. He started the game off with like 4 threes in like 2 minutes. DK, DiVincenzo, Hero, Bron, AD, Tucker, Bledsoe, Green, and Rondo. It's a slightly contrarian lineup, right? Hero, Jeff Green are not optimal plays in my opinion. Marvin Williams or George Hill? George Hill for sure over Marvin Williams. Yeah, definitely George Hill. Smash the like button. Oh yeah, guys, if you like the content, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button. It really does help me out. Thank you, Cam. Rondo, Marvin, or Rondo? Oh, that got deleted. Bledsoe, DiVincenzo, Middleton, AD, Lopez, Rondo, Eric Gordon, Hero. Yep, very, very similar to what I'm going with. I'm happy with my lineup at IDK, Bron, or AD tonight. It's a toss-up. I slightly prefer AD for his price, but again, that's not really a strong take. Kind of like my take with Westbrook, Bam, Jimmy. I don't really have, I'm not confident saying Westbrook over Jimmy and Bam. I think all three are in some similar plays. I think Westbrook will probably be the highest one of the 3, but yeah, Gordon or Hero, that's a tricky one. That's like 50-50. Gordon's going to be higher owned. I guess it's Gordon, but I do like both in the mid-range. I have all Milwaukee and LA players. Is that okay? I think that's perfectly fine. Pope or House? Oh, KCP? KCP or House? I guess House, but they're very similar plays. Rondo, Marvin, or DiVincenzo, Covington. Rondo and Marv. Well, that doesn't make sense, right? Because Covington's a lot more expensive. It's going to be DiVincenzo and Covington. Hoping for Kuzma's ceiling game. It's possible. The minutes went down on him, though. That's what worries me. Let's win some money to DK. I think this is a better slate than last slate. Who knows? Probably going off last night, Milwaukee would just come out and get blown out, and then just everyone will tilt again. Can I fade Rondo for DiVincenzo? You can. I would play both, personally, but you can do it. It's a really risky fade. 225 watching and 21 likes. Come on, let's get that to 50. Yeah, I'm not really big into the like hunting, but guys, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button, please. It does really help me out. Can you play $4 today? Yep, I'm playing 5. So, yeah, you can. Heat and 5. Yeah, I mean, the Heat are definitely favorites to win today. DK the GOAT. Appreciate that, man. Bledsoe, DiVincenzo, Robinson, AD, Bam, Westbrook, Marvin Williams, Rondo. I think that's viable for sure. This slate is so much better, but I'm sure something crazy will happen. Right. It's a better slate 100% just because I'm just more confident in the minutes on these guys. Whereas the last game, again, I hate the Denver Clippers game. So you just cannot trust Rivers or Mike Malone. Yeah, can't get away from Harden, Davis, Kuzma, Gordon. So I had to fade game 1. Good luck, DK. I think that's fine. I think you can do it. You really need the blowout then, which is possible, right? There's just, if the game stays close, like a couple of Milwaukee players can have amazing days for their prices, in my opinion. So you really need the blowout there. Landing and Rocco, okay. Yeah, he's the last piece in my lineup. So I'm not really excited about playing Robert Covington, but he's in my lineup, again, as a last piece in. Late, but here. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Bledsoe, DiVincenzo, Middleton, AD, Tucker, Rondo, Marvin Williams, and Bam. Again, I think it looks good. Sam really don't know about Duncan. He's going to cook. I like Duncan. The minutes, I don't really know how many minutes he's going to play. It's kind of the same thing which I talked about a lot of guys last night with Clippers and Denver. The reason I hate that game is because you just don't know what the minutes are going to be for a lot of those guys. Stupid MPJ. Yeah, right, MPJ, you don't know how many minutes he's going to play. He's so good offensively, but Mike Malone can still play in 15 minutes. The last game we got extended a bit, and then Millsap lost some minutes, some other guys lost some minutes. Rondo, 6,100 on FanDuel. Really? He's 6,100? Wow. That's still like a playable price, but I don't think I would do it on FanDuel. Lock Roko's a decent form, pretty high ceiling. Yeah, again, he was the last piece of my lineup, so not super excited about playing Robert Covington at 6'5", but it just what landed in my lineup. So let's go over some ownership here. Dragic, DiVincenzo, Duncan, Milton, Gordon, Crowder, Kuzma, Adebayo, and AD for FanDuel. That's fine. Bledsoe not that high owned. Yeah, Bledsoe's 54% owned. That's low in my opinion. 6.2K Eric Bledsoe with no Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'll take that all day long. DiVincenzo 72% owned. Middleton 64%. Brolo 32%. George Hill 35%. I told you guys I'm playing $5. I played $5. Those are the 5 I played. Curious to see what some ownership is on other guys. Duncan Robinson 26%. Ersan's 1% owned. So a couple of people took shots there. I'm not confident he plays, but you never know. Dragic at 15%. I'm curious to see what Bam and Jimmy are. I know they're going to be super, super low owned. Marvin Williams 27%. That's fine. Yeah, this guy has the same start to his lineup. He played the $5 that I played, which in my opinion were the 5 best players from Milwaukee. Jay Crowder 24%. Bam's at 34%. That's actually a little bit higher than I thought. I thought he would be around 15 to 20%. 34% is higher, so I don't have an issue with that at all, but that's a little bit higher than I thought. Jimmy Butler, 22%, also slightly higher than I thought. I thought there would be like 15-ish%, so that guy just went with a full game stack in game 1. DiVincenzo, 22% in FanDuel. What was his price on FanDuel? I assume he's got to be pretty cheap, right? I got Bledsoe for 37% owned. On Draftkings, I like that a lot. He's a different player. Him and Middleton, they're different players without Giannis Antetokounmpo. Middleton 68%, Dragic 10%. Lopez about 50%. Yeah, I played Brolo. I'm hoping he actually can hit his shots because his floor is super low. Crowder 24%, mentioned that. That's really what I got. So Bam, Jimmy are slightly higher owned than I thought, but Milwaukee guys, I'm a little bit surprised at Bledsoe. Bledsoe's ownership too, only 54%. I thought that would be higher. DiVincenzo 72%, not really surprised about that. George Hill's 35%, I like that. And then Brolo 32%, fine with me. And a 3-player 530. We have all of us 7 exact players from game 1. Hot chalk. Oh man, AD or LBJ fantasy point upside tonight. I'll go AD for his price. Bledsoe only 35%. My GPP makes no sense. Bledsoe hasn't been great. I agree, but I just at 6.2K, I think it looks really good. Brolo only 28% in the $1 GPP. I think it's due to the fact of he started terribly the last game, but with Giannis out, we know where the offense is coming from. It's Milton, it's Bledsoe, it's Brook Lopez. DiVincenzo and George Hill will contribute too. All right, well, I think I'm going to hop out of here, guys. Dante only 45 on FanDuel. Yeah, well, that's more expensive than DraftKings, obviously, so he wasn't as good of a play there, but still playable for sure. Rondo, AD, or Rocco and Westbrook. It's going to be Rondo and AD for me. What is Milton ownage percentage? He was 64% in the $100 tournament that I'm in. Thanks, man. Yeah, of course. All right, guys. Good luck, guys. I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys all win some money soon.